Oh, was it?
This is
It was a
set on the
rusty
ground for
car?
30 years. Yeah, we made all that. That's all handmade.
Oh my gosh, because there's no floors or anything available for
No,
these
you can't
cars.
run metal, so
So
got a
you
picture of
fabricated everything.
Well, my fabricator did. I didn't do it. I don't take credit for none of it. I got good people, but
Gotcha.
it's I mean, it's something that my son can do anything that's in this shop, but he's like a Renaissance person, you know.
Gotcha.
He came up in construction. I put him on a bulldozer when he was 6 years old. He could run a backhoe when he was 7 and 8. He ran it just like a grown man. He couldn't reach the pedals in my bulldozer, and he could grade better than the man that I paid to run it every day. Yeah, you know, he was just that way. I handed him a Lincoln stick welder like that one over there when he was 6 years old, and 2 pieces of metal and a helmet, and said, "This is what you do. This is how you get an arc. Do this." And within 1 day, he was welding metal together.
Oh my gosh.
He was certified. I'm going to say that was 2004. He went to the college and signed up to get his certifications in welding. On his 3rd week in the class, the teacher came to me and threw a bunch of samples of welded stainless on the table. And he said, "Look at them and tell me what you see that's funny or odd." I looked at him and I said, "Well, the heat sink in them, it looks like you put it on with a straight edge." And he said, "Yeah, they normally have a bit of a wave in them." He said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm 47 years a welder and I can't do that. Your son did that. He's been in my class for 3 weeks and I don't even teach stainless until the 2nd year. We only do MIG welding in the 1st year and TIG in the 2nd and 3rd year." But he said, "I give him a project, just a 3-hour class." He said, "Your boy's done in 20 minutes with every project I ever give him." And they have free time. So he spends the rest of his time, he goes straight to TIG and sets down, he wanted to learn TIG. He already TIG welded, I'm MIG welded and stick welded since he's been 6. So he went in there and learned TIG welding, and the guy said, "I'm certifying him now. He's more of a welder than I am." So
That made you proud, didn't it?
yeah, but that's how, and the same way with machine work. I put him with Carl Wigner to educate him. Carl brought the engineer from the boring machines. It's a router, but let's think of it in a minute. It's written on the machine back there. Anyway, they're the ones that make all the CNC guided machines as well.
Gotcha.
They came down. My son showed the guy that invented the machine and wrote the software and the manual for it, something that the machine would do that he had no idea it would do. In fact, he argued with my son. And my son went up there and he showed him, and he went, "How the hell did you do that?" And he said, "Well," he said, "when the machines come in, as they were shipped down to build our first machine shop, which was our NASCAR cop shop over on Fentress."
Fentress, was it over by Jaguar Racing back in the day?
I was
Remember
at
Darryl Waltrip's shop?
Yeah, I was at Fentress and Mason.
Gotcha.
Okay, he was further down,
Yeah.
about halfway down Fentress, back toward the Speedway. But that shop was gone by the time.
Yeah, it's only there a couple of years,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, Jaguar did racing down there, and
My dad, we
the
went in there.
Alabama boys were there.
Yep.
But you could run a whole season of NASCAR back then for 300 grand.
Oh, yeah.
It costs that much to prep just for Daytona now. And that was when I raced. It's probably twice that now.
Yeah.
You know, God only knows. The fucking money's crazy. So he went through the thing with Carl, and he did it. He showed Carl how to cut a valve relief and pistons for a big block Chevrolet on the Bridgeport. Carl said, "You can't do that. It's a compound. There's 3 different angles that got to play in that, and you'll never get them right." And he said, "I think I can." He said, "Well, go ahead, hardhead, do it." So he cut them all, and we assembled the motor, and they put the lightweight springs on it and set the heads on it, and they were going to check all of it. And before they did, Eddie said, "Well, you said you wanted 125 thousandths on the exhaust, so I just cut them all at 124 to 125 all the way across. You should have that plus 1 or 2. And he checked them every fucking valve spot on. Carl came in and he said, "I'd have bet $1,000 that had been fucked up." He said, "Every one, not only there, perfect. Within 100 thousandths of an inch, every fucking one of them." He said, I can't even do that. I've been building motors for 70 fucking years and I can't do that." He said, I don't understand how he does that. But he saw that in his own head, and with little of no tools, fabricated what he needed and made it happen. That's the kind of guy he is. Willie.
You should be proud of your son there.
Oh, I am. I'm very proud of him.